right, let's dive into an important topic that affects so many households. Listen carefully. We're getting into teen health, specifically focusing on the gut, the brain, and the immune system. Now, the teenage years can be a roller coaster of emotions, as we've all been through, and also a lot of changes. But there are ways to support our teens as they navigate through this period. And joining us are our health experts, Kath McGaw, pediatric dietitian, as well as Laura Johnston, CEO at Phytoceutics, here to share valuable insights for parents on how diet, lifestyle, and also supplementation can play such a significant role in helping our teens feel and also perform their best. Ladies, thank you so much for being here. And we've got to talk about it and be honest about our teenage years. I mean, that teenage angst had all of us in a chokehold. But I'm hearing that there are ways now that we can probably better support our teens through the anxiety, through the academic and social highs and lows. Kath, maybe you can speak to that.
Yeah, so I think one of the fundamental areas is looking at their nutrition, because what we put into our bodies definitely has an impact on not only our physical, but our behavior and our mental state. And we're understanding that more and more now with the gut-brain connection. And something really interesting is that when you are formed in the womb, your gut and your brain are linked through a series of cells.
Sure.
And so what goes into our gut definitely affects our brain. What we think in our brain affects our gut. And that's why it is so important looking at good nutrition to support our teenagers.
Yeah, and when you talk about support, I mean, there's certain things that go undiagnosed. How do we approach things like diagnosing ADHD and the likes?
So I think if you're suspecting your child struggling at school, or anxiety often in girls is an indication that there might be potential ADHD, because if they're realizing they're not coping and getting through their work and their stuff that they need to do, they actually will become quite anxious. So that could be an indication to a parent. And I think when you are looking at ADHD, you need to look at it in a holistic context, both dietary-wise, supplement-wise. 4 to 5% of children diagnosed with ADHD actually respond to omega-3 supplementation.
Wow.
A lot of good studies are showing that. So that's really exciting news, because it's a way that we can support our children.
Yeah.
And then getting people around them that support, from occupational therapy, advice and guidance, to psychology. And so it's a holistic approach. It's not just a one thing that will fix it.
I love that. And I'm so here for that approach to medicine nowadays, actually connecting, like you said, the mind, body and soul all together in one. I heard you mentioned omega-3, and I've got to touch on supplements, Laura. Can we get into this? Because when going through your teenage years, your body takes a toll. Going through so many different phases and changes. I mean, are there supplements that can support that?
Yeah, so teens and adolescents are going through a massive growth phase in their lives. So this takes a toll, in terms of their nutritional requirements, as Kath touched on, and can it weaken their immune systems as well. So it's really important to bolster the immune system through the likes of vitamin C, vitamin B, vitamin D. Those are all really important. Kath also mentioned mood, anxiety, probiotics, something like Ceregut that works on the gut-brain axis as a probiotic. And then also girls in their teens will start to menstruate. So that blood loss, together with increased growth, can potentially mean they need iron supplementation.
I know the world of supplementation can get very overwhelming. I mean, even when I go into store, I'm like, where do I begin? What do I do? I didn't even know that supplements could be used for teenagers. So maybe if we can talk to that a little bit more.
It's quite deceiving, because, regulatory standards state that most supplements can only be prescribed to people over the age of 18. But, studies, as Kath also mentioned, show that omega-3, for example, can be given way before that. So we always advise working with a healthcare practitioner to see what supplements are relevant to your teenager. But then, also just looking at things like alternative modes of delivery. So pill fatigue is a thing. A lot of teens don't like swallowing a handful of supplements. So, we've got a variety of sprays, we've got powders to mix with water, we've got sachets you tip in your mouth, we've got gummies. So, making supplementation fun, increases adherence for teens in optimizing their health.
Oh, I love that. When you say gummies, I was like, yes, thank goodness. You are making it fun, making it approachable and accessible as well. Now, for parents, I mean, maybe a tip from both of you that are feeling a little bit like, is there light at the end of the tunnel? My kid is going a little bit crazy over here. Where do I begin? What sort of advice would you give them?
Yeah, so I would say seek out help. Don't try and figure it out on your own, because, you know, there's ways to give supplements, and also not just, I always like to match it with food. So I always say to the teenager, we're going to give you vitamin C, but what foods have vitamin C? Eat it together with that. We're going to give you vitamin B, what foods have it? And so support them, and that they learn that where our vitamins and our supplements actually come from, and then that will support them.
Yeah, and I guess from my side, it's quality over quantity. So rather get a potentially more expensive, very high quality vitamin C, if we're talking about that, that's highly bioavailable, and you need 1 capsule a day, and you know it's going to make an impact, than a variety of supplements that maybe the body won't even absorb.
I absolutely love it when two worlds come together so peacefully and beautifully. Thank you, ladies, so much for sharing with us today.
Thank you.
I love that. And also, as we know, teen health is such a vital topic, okay? And it's great to know that there are practical ways to support their overall well-being. And for all the parents watching, it is clear that both diet and lifestyle, and of course, the right supplements, can make such a huge difference in helping your teens thrive.
Optimize your gut health with Phytoceutics range of pre, pro, and postbiotics. Use code Expresso for 15% off at phytoceutics.com.